Hi all, if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira, and today guys, we're going to be chit-chatting about some of the cozy fall reads and Halloween themed reads that I have had on my TBR and also that I've already read these past couple of weeks. And we're going to be trying a couple new products. I don't have a lot of new makeup because I haven't really been shopping quite a bit, but I have two new things that I mentioned that I wanted to pick up in my last new makeup releases video. I actually wound up picking them up, so we're going to try them out in the video. Let's get in. Guys, so just to show you what I am talking about that I picked up, see if I can get this out of the box. And this isn't a first impression. I have worn this or used this palette once already, but I haven't used it again because I wanted to just try it out and then kind of give you my thoughts, my first thoughts, and then try it out again on camera with you guys. And I have the Pat McGrath, this is the Gilded Nirvana Mega Mix palette, and yeah, so this is what the packaging looks like, very pretty. This is what the inside looks like, and I've used this once, and I have thoughts. I do have thoughts. And then I wound up picking up the MAC Lip Erase. And I talked about this as well in the new makeup releases video that I really wanted to try this and see how it works with the pigmentation in my lips to see if it kind of neutralizes it. And then I can try to kind of play with some of these more sheer lip products that I have in my makeup bag that I use all the time. So that is what we're going to play with. And then I just wanted to get into the topic of the video, which is fall reads. And so I made a point of sort of creating a TBR list that was sort of like fall cozy reads and things that I really wanted to sort of like get into the mood for fall and also get into the mood for Halloween. So starting off, I created a TBR list with, I think I put like 5 books on it. And one of the first books that I put on the list was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. Now, this book has been out for a while, and I've had so many people talk about that book and talk about how great it was, and it's such a good read, and it's a cozy read, it's an easy read. I have, as you can see, I've already done my makeup, and I'll put in the description box what I have on my face. We're just going to focus on the eyes, since that's really the only like new thing that I have. And if I sound congested, it's because I am, guys. I just got off of a 3-week stint of working 7 days straight. So I worked from every single day from September 26th to October 17th. Yeah, so I hadn't had a single day off. And the beginning of that stint of work, I got sick. And because I've been sort of like so stressed out and working so much, my body is taking forever to recover. And so I'm still really congested. I'm still feel like icky. I don't feel sick in the sense of like all of the other like symptoms, you know. I don't have like a fever and but I do have a cough. I am still congested. I'm very sneezy. I'm going into this shade that is Nude Nirvana, this one here. So this is and I'm going to put this on and I'm going to show you guys what this looks like on my skin, because this was one of my critiques of this palette. So as you can see, and I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see it a little bit better. So as you can see, let's turn that up a little bit. It's quite light. She doesn't really have any mid-tone shades in this palette. This one light shade that is like the one like matte. It is kind of a cream to powder formula. I've never used any, I think this is the first palette I've tried of hers that has this formulation in it. I don't know if she has any others. I did not pick up the last Mothership that she came out with because I used to collect the Motherships and I've just kind of like freed myself from that. I freed myself from that, and so I wasn't interested in picking up the last Mothership, and so I did not. So I don't know if that has this formulation in it, but from what I understand, this might be a new formula for her. It's not bad. It actually blends really beautifully, but as you can see, it is super light. So you can get a little bit of depth, but if you're deeper than me, you're not going to get much out of this color at all. And so that is literally the only matte type of shade. The other shade in here that's kind of like a semi-matte is this shade here, which is, I believe it is Mauve Mystic, or no, it's Moonlight Mauve. Just this one here. I use this as a matte because when I was using it, I didn't have my glasses on, which I don't now, but now I know, I understand my mistake now. I didn't have my glasses on, and I put it on my eye thinking it was a brown because it reads quite brown. Like on camera, it looks quite, like you can kind of see here when you pull it back, it looks quite brown in the pan, but when you actually put it on, it is a purple. Like it is a purple tone. It looks quite brown there, but when you blend it out, like on my skin, this goes really, really pinky purple. So I couldn't even really get like a good brown tone from that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with one of these other shades, maybe even this one is stunning, and I haven't used this one yet. And this is, I believe, Cherry Noir. Look how, oh yeah, maybe we'll do that one. Or I really want to use this shade here. And this is, what shade is this? This is Golden Lurex. This is stunning as well. So I'm thinking doing something with these two. Why not? So I'm going to go in with Golden Lurex on the lid. So yeah, so I wound up downloading Legends and Lattes, which, can I just say, such a good book. If you're looking for a book that is just low stakes, fun to read, it's engaging, you love the characters, you're rooting for the characters, there's enough, like, and when I say low stakes, there's still things going on in the book that you like care about, you know, like that there's still some drama and some you know, things going on that make you go, ooh, what's gonna happen? Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Look at that. The irony is, last week I was looking for a color just like this, and for some reason I just didn't even think to open this palette up and look at this shade here. But this is stunning. Look at that. Now I kind of just want to use this shade. What do you think? I don't know. I kind of love it on its own. I kind of love it on its own. All right, we're gonna do the other eye too. But yeah, if you're looking for a book that has like it has enough emotional stakes to make you care, but it's not enough that you feel like you're gonna be devastated by the book. Nothing in it that happens is really like devastating or super like tragic, or, and there's, like I said, there's still drama in it, and there are things that happen you're like, what? But it's such a lovely, lovely read, and that's kind of what I needed these past 2 weeks. Like I said, I was working a lot, and then I got sick, and then I kind of lost my voice a little bit. Like, one of the reasons why I wasn't filming is because I couldn't really, like, I was so congested that I just sounded like Kermit the Frog. Like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't speak properly, okay? So I was like, well, I can't really film until I can actually sound like, you know, a human being again. That is really pretty. I think I will take a little bit of, I'm scared to use this shade. I'm afraid it's gonna, see what I mean? Like when you blend this out, it just goes really pink, like really purple, which is not what I'm going for. So I think I might still take a little bit of Cherry Noir, even though this is a Rephr 13. Even though this is quite a glittery shade, I just want to see what it looks like on the outer edges of my lid. Because I think it might wind up giving me what I want, and I don't mind it being shimmery because I actually quite like that look. I've been really loving the look of like all shimmer. I still put matte in my crease because I have hooded, like slightly hooded eyes, and so I need a little bit of depth and dimension there, which is one of the reasons why I wish that this this matte cream to powder was a bit more rich in tone, because I could use that. But this Cherry Noir is giving me what I want. That's pretty. Okay. So yeah, I did, like I said, I did one look with this palette, and I honestly, guys, I actually thought I didn't really like the palette. I'm not gonna lie, because it just wasn't giving me what I was expecting it to give me. And so I was feeling a little bummed about that. I wasn't like 100% happy with the look. And it was mostly this tone because it went so pink and purpley on me. And it just kind of ruined my look, to be quite honest. And so I was just like, the heck? Just wasn't, it wasn't what I wanted. So I was very much like under the impression that I wasn't going to love this palette all that much. And I will say this about this palette. It's not a must. It really isn't. Like these shadows are beautiful, but I also don't feel like these are shades that you can, that are like must-haves necessarily. Like this palette isn't, in my opinion, a must-have if you are a Pat McGrath fan. Having used, now this is again only my second time using it. My feelings about it may change, and when I do my review roundup, you know, I'll talk about that if they have changed. But as of now, like even using these shades that I like I think this is really beautiful. But again, I don't necessarily think that it is a must-have. Now for the lower lash line, this is where things get a little, I'm sorry as if I'm sniffling, but I don't want to put a whole lot on my lower lash line. So I think what I might do is concentrate on the inner corner and just go from there. And I think for the inner corner, well, actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm going to take a little bit of this, what is this called again? Cherry Noir. I'm going to take this Kyoto brush. I'm going to spray it. So yeah, like I was saying, getting back to what I was talking about. Read that, loved it. I read it in like 2 days. It was such a quick read. It's a very easy read. And I enjoyed it so much. Highly recommend. And I know that Travis Baldree has like expanded the universe of that, from that book. Like he's gone on to write books that are in the same world. And I think there's even like, I think a sequel or something. Or a prequel involving the main character. I don't know the specifics, so I can't tell you exactly. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And then I'm gonna take that shade that I had on my the like green color here. This what is this again? Golden Lorex. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I'm gonna spray this brush again, and I'm gonna put that down here. So we're just gonna mirror what I did on my upper lid. But I'm interested in possibly continuing reading those books, not like in the immediate future, but like down the line. So then I went on to download a few Halloween themed romance novels. So every year Amazon does these books, these short stories with authors. They like commission them to do like themed short stories. So, and they're always Halloween themed, but the overarching theme is always something a little bit different. So like last year or the year before, there was the one that was so amazing that I absolutely loved. And I can't remember what the author's name was that wrote that book. But if you know the book I'm talking about, it's the one that Carrie Kinry like raves about all the time. And it's such a good book. She was right. It's such a good book. I'm trying to think if I want to use that. No, I don't. I was going to use this in my inner corner, but it's a little too pink for what I want to do. I think instead I'm going to use this shade here, which is Platinum Bronze, which is this tone. And I just want to put a little something in my inner corner. So this year they did they wanted to do Halloween themed romance novels, and they picked a couple of like popular romance novel authors. So one of them is Ali Hazelwood. So I read the one from Ali Hazelwood, and if you have Kindle Unlimited, they are free to download, just to give you a heads up. I read that one, and I have to say, guys, I kind of hated it. I kind of hated it. I just felt like it was a story that I thought probably would have been interesting if it wasn't a short story. I think that the fact that it was a short story made it really hard to, it goes so fast that by the time they get to the romance actually feels quite like sudden, and I didn't feel like it was earned. And yeah, that book, I just wasn't a huge fan of it. I didn't like the premise of it. It just felt like everything was sort of like half baked. And moved really fast. I wasn't a huge fan of that one. And then the second one I read, and I believe it's 4 books total. I've only read 2 of them. I don't know if I'm going to read the other ones just based on my experience with these 2. So the next one I read was My Boyfriends Are All Monsters by Kimberly Lemming. The premise of that one was actually really funny. It's And let me just go back and say Hot for Slayer. I'll tell you, Hot for Slayer is basically about this vampire who has this long running feud with this vampire slayer, and it spans like hundreds of years. They're both kind of like immortal, I guess. I don't know how he's immortal because he's human, but whatever. But yeah, so it basically spans, but it doesn't actually span it. We actually only get like one flashback from like the 80s and then one for current day. That's it. It would have been nice if we had gotten a bit more, but again, I don't think it wouldn't have been a short story if it had done that, and that was kind of one of the things that handicapped it for me. My boyfriends are all monsters about this woman who is on this like retreat with her boyfriend who's being a total jerk to her. They wind up having a fight. And she is kind of like stuck on this mountain, and this little town that this mountain is on, that they're hiking on, is like ruled by this like ancient monster who grants wishes or whatever. And he overhears her like not wishing, but she kind of wishes. And so he decides to grant her wish. And her wish is something really stupid. Like she just wanted someone to like adore her and all this stuff. So this town, he creates this whole town to like woo her into staying in the town. And he wants to be like the one who is her like boyfriend. And so the whole first part of the book is him trying to convince her that this is a real town, even though he's the one who's creating all of the like people. There aren't really people. He's like playing all the parts. It's actually quite funny. And then it kind of gets into the romance and the like smut part of the book, and that part actually was quite disturbing to me. That's all I'm gonna say. I was reading it and I was just like, I'm just wiping off my little gloss that I have here so you can try this lip erase. And it's just like, this is supposed to be sexy, but it's just really creeping me out. And so that one, it was kind of a bust for me too. I thought the first part was good, but once they got to the actual like smut scene, I was just kind of like, ew, ew. This looks pretty good. I'm actually really happy with it. I really want to try that cherry noir on its own, but today I wanted to really emphasize this, and so what I might do is just do like a smoky look with a cherry noir on its own one day. That sounds lovely. So that one was a bust. So I read two of those books. They were both busts for me. I will say the Kimberly Lemming book was better than the Ali Hazelwood book. I love Ali Hazelwood, but I do find that sometimes her stories can be hit or miss for me. That one was a definite miss. After that, I read this really cute romance. It's actually like a teen romance story called, what is it called? It's called Falling. Is it Falling? Yeah, Falling Like Leaves. And it's supposed to be, I guess, part of a series because it's called Bramble Falls 1. So I think there are going to be more books. But it centers around this teenage girl who is, and this is the lip erase. And I feel like, I hope I got the right tone. It was kind of like, I got medium neutral. My skin is neutral. The other tones were either too light or too dark, so I'm hoping that this works for me. And basically what you're supposed to do, it says here, I don't know if it has instructions, but you basically just apply it. And you can apply it on its own, or you can apply it under lip product. So I'm going to just apply this and see if it neutralizes. Huh. Like you can't maybe tell in the camera, in the mirror it does feel like it's neutralizing some of the pigment here. Well, this is more pigmented than the bottom lip, so we're gonna try that. Let me see if you guys in a little bit more. Actually, I'm just gonna lean in because it doesn't really go much further than that. Let's see. I feel like I can still see the pigment. I was hoping it would be a little more like, but I think the test will be me putting it over something, or putting something over it. Let's see. What are we going to put over it? I have a bunch of things here. I have this, which is the NARS Afterglow Lip Shine in Nympho. So the book is about a young girl whose parents suddenly announced that they are separating, and her mother is dragging her back to live in the small town that her sister lives in. So like the mother's sister, the young girl, the teenage girl's aunt. And it's the final year in high school. It's her senior year. She's trying to get into Columbia. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I added a little bit more. I just kind of slowly layered. And I'm going to try this over and see what I get. Because usually my lips kind of like, I usually have to line my lips with a nude liner to get any kind of like blank canvas with this. What do we think? Like, I feel like it's definitely neutralized the color in my lips. But I also wonder if the color of this is fighting the color of this gloss, because the gloss is quite, you can see there, nude. And it is here, but I feel like it has a slight orange tint here that it doesn't normally have. And I'm wondering if it's the lip erase that's doing it. I have to play with this a little bit more, but I'm not mad at it because I do think like it did a little something. But the question is, does it do as much, anything different from what my lip pencils do? You know what I mean? So, you know, TBD. I'm going to keep using it. I'll report back. So yeah, so this is the finished look. I'm quite happy with it. Again, I want to use both of these products more. This is my first time using the lip erase, my second time using the Pat McGrath palette. And I really just want to play with this Cherry Noir shade some more. This shade is just so pretty. And this is, again, what I have on my outer corner. And this is what's on my lid. So basically, she gets pulled back. She's unhappy because she's trying to get into Columbia. She wants to be a journalist like her dad. And so her dad and her kind of plan this whole like life trajectory for her. She's only like 16, 17. She's a senior. And she goes back to this town that she's been to before because her aunt lives there and her cousin lives there. And she had a boyfriend at one point a couple of years before that lived there that she kind of forgot about. She kind of blew off. And it's really about the rekindle of their romance. And it's also about this little town. And I just fell in love with the town, the way that the author, and it's written by the author of the book's name is Misty Wilson. And what I loved about it is she does such a good job of painting this town. And it felt very Gilmore Girls. If that is your fall thing, if you love like Gilmore Girls-esque vibes, you will love this book because it was all over that. It's a small town, it's a cute town, it's a quaint town. There's other characters I love that, you know, that pop in that are townspeople that you kind of get to know because they pop in and out of the story. The teenagers are actually really well written. It didn't feel like they were caricatures of teenagers. They weren't absolutely obnoxious. They had like real personalities, and I did find myself like buying into the dynamics. The two things that I did dislike and kind of made me feel bad for our main female character is the way her mom handles the situation with them going back to the town. She kind of like pulls her daughter out of her senior year, moves her to her sister's town, but doesn't really explain why. Like her parents never give her actual reasons why things are happening the way that they're happening, and that kind of bugged me. I felt really bad for our main character because I'm like, the adults in her life are kind of failing her because they're dealing with her own stuff. It was a little bit of that. Great book. And then I read Love is a War Song. And this is not a fall book. This is a book that takes place in Oklahoma at like summertime, so it's super hot. But something about it had this really cozy vibe. And the story centers around a pop star who is half indigenous, who gets into a scandal when she does a Rolling Stone cover with a headdress that is traditionally a war headdress of her tribe, and people are appalled, and they don't know. A lot of people don't believe she's actually native, so they think that she's appropriating this culture, and it becomes this huge scandal. And her mother sends her to sort of prove that she is indigenous. Her mother, who is the parent that is indigenous, is also her like nightmare momager. Her mom is not the bee's knees. Sends her back to Oklahoma sends her to Oklahoma to live with her grandmother on her ranch and to sort of prove her authenticity. But this is a grandmother that she's basically never met. Like her mom moved away and kind of cut off all contact with that side of the family. So, and then her dad was is not in the picture. So she comes back to this tribe and these people to learn about a culture that she's in her culture that she's never been a part of. And then she winds up starting up a friendship, starts off like, it's kind of like enemies to lovers, with one of the ranch hands in the book. Really pretty story. It was interesting because there's a song that kind of is brought up multiple times in the book, and I felt it's called Heartbeats, and the whole time I was like, why didn't she just name the book Love is like the song Love is a War Song? Because I thought that like that would have been a good play, but that's just me. That's me like just being like nitpicking, but that is what the name of the book is Love is a War Song, and the name of the like song that she's writing, that she's trying to finish throughout the book, is called Heartbeats. And it's the song that she wants to release, but her record label wants her to release like poppy songs that, you know, very like, you know, Sabrina Carpenter-esque things. And she really wanted to be more like a strummer, singer-songwriter, guitar girl. And so she's trying to convince them, and they're telling her no. And so this whole time she's like, while she's in Oklahoma, she's working on this song. Really good story. Another book that had really great side characters. I love when a book fleshes out not just the two main characters, but also everyone around them. And reading that book, I felt like I had a very good idea of who everyone in that story was in relation to her, our main girl, and also just in relation to each other. It felt very like well fleshed, like well written, and every character had a full life. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really great book. I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads. I very rarely give 5 stars out, guys. I'm kind of brutal in that way. I don't know. I don't think I'm brutal. Maybe I'm a little stingy. I'm going to zoom you out so I can finish talking. And also what I read, and that I'm currently reading, and that I think I'm going to DNF, and I feel really bad for saying this, but I am currently reading The Floating World by Axie. I think it's Axie. Yeah, Axio. I heard so many good things about this book, and I really, really wanted to love it, and I'm not disliking it. I'm thinking it's a combination of two things. I think it's a combination of, it feels like for me the story is going really slowly. I'm about 50% through. And also, I'm just like, I feel like maybe my attention span isn't what it should be for this book. And so I'm thinking I might DNF it, or just do it in RN, which is my own little thing, which is not right now. Sometimes I'll DNF a book, and it's not because there's anything wrong with the book. It's just not the right book for me in the moment. I very much like, sometimes certain books I just can't read, and whatever's my headspace is in, or whatever's going on in my life, I can't commit to it, and I can't get into it. And I think that's the case with this book. So I think I'm going to DNF this just for now, and maybe come back to it at a later date. I don't think it's bad. Like I said, I'm 50% in. I don't think the story is bad. It just feels like for me to be 50% through and feel like nothing has happened yet. Yeah, so I think I'm going to just like step away for now until I have the attention span to really hunker down with it. I think for me, what I'm discovering right now with my headspace is that that's not a cozy fall read. That is very much like a deep read and a slow burn. And I kind of need things that are a little bit cozy, a little bit quick, a little bit cutesy, that kind of just, I can kind of like read and put down and not have to like think too hard about. That's kind of where I am, my headspace is. So that's what I'm looking for now. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. Those are the books that I kind of had on my TBR that I've kind of whittled down. Let me know in the comments down below. What books do you recommend that are good cozy fall reads or Halloween cozy reads? I am down for all of that right now. That's kind of what my brain needs. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know in the comments down below. Have you read any of the books that I've mentioned? Have you read The Floating World? And what did you think of it? Do you think it's worth me finishing at a later date? Or should I just like let it go? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.